Hello, this is Paul Cheney. We're back with more work on our advanced CSS techniques. In this video, we're going to take a look at these social icons which we've created up here, which do exist on the phone. So let's open up our Photoshop master file. I've mocked up the position of these icons right up here, and they are just different layers. There's the YouTube one, the tweet one, and the Facebook. And for the desktop, I want them positioned over to the right. On the phone, I'm just going to put them over here next to my title. Now I've made a copy of those down here at the bottom and wrapped them in a slice using the slice tool. And then using the slice select tool, I've named each one according to what it is. So there's a Twitter one, and here's the YouTube one, and it will use this name with the extension when it saves it for me. We'll get to this spaceship later. Now these are currently on a starry background, which I don't want. I want them transparent around the edge. So I'm going to turn off my background so that there is a checkered background or transparency behind them, and then do File, Save for Web. I'm going to select each of these and make sure it's set to PNG 24. That'll give it a nice smooth edge around the outside. PNG 8 is going to be smaller, but the quality is not acceptable. So select that one. That one's PNG. That one's PNG. We're good. So let's go ahead and save it. Put it out here on the desktop. And now let's take a look at our desktop and see what we've got. They created here an images folder. Inside the images folder we have our Facebook, and you can barely see the white F on the white background. We have our Twitter one. There's a little bird, and our YouTube icon. So they look like they're transparent. So let's move into our HTML start file, into our images folder. We'll move the YouTube, the Twitter, and the Facebook icons in there. There we go. Now we're ready to knock up a unordered list to load those into the header. Let's go back to our source code, go up here to the header of our document. There it is. We currently have an H group, but above that H group we're going to put an unordered list followed by a closing list item, closing list item. These are all going to be linked inside of anchors. The anchors are going to have an href equals, right now it's not going to go anywhere. And then here we're going to insert an image. Image has to have a source and an alt tag. The first one we're loading is inside the images folder, and it's going to be called Facebook. .ping. Its alt is of course Facebook. Over there we can see the F, so we know it's working. Paste it, change this to Twitter, change this to Twitter. This one goes to YouTube, and this one. Save it. There they are. So if we come out here to our browser, hit refresh. Sorry, on our site, hit refresh. There's our three icons. They're stacked at the right and the top. Now we just need to go into the CSS. So we're jumping to the phone. I'm going to come down here. We've got our header. We're going to make a new section in here, and we're going to talk to those. Do these step by step and code them one at a time. So start with a comment. I'll just call it social icons. First thing we're going to do is talk to the unordered list. Now, this unordered list is going to have a class equals icons. So we'll talk to, whoops, is that in the right spot here? There we go. Too many unordered lists. That's why we have to put classes with everything so we don't accidentally make mistakes. So we're going to talk to the header unordered list dot icons. The space here means a child of. No space means it's the extended name or the full name of the unordered list. Start with floating the whole list. Okay, we're talking to the unordered list. Right now it's on the left. We want it over here to the right. Save it. And it's against the right. We don't want it that close. We have a standard 2% margin that we're using all the way around, so we'll stick with that. And that should bring them back even with the right side of the buttons. So now let's talk to the list items that are inside of that. So I'm going to copy that. Talk to the space list item because it's a child of. And we're going to float these to the left within the unordered list. Save it. Helps if I can spell. See if that does what we need it to. There they go. So now they're stacked left to right in the order that we want. They're too close to the top though. So let's bring them down. Oh, about 15 pixels, or 1 EM is the same. 16 pixels, that's close enough. It brings them down a little bit. And now we're going to talk to the anchors themselves. If we go back to our design, there we go. You can see that these are a slightly light gray. They're not 100% opaque. Now I could have changed these icons to slightly gray, but later on I want them to be white on mouse hover. So I'm going to use CSS to lighten these rather than lighten them in Photoshop. So over here, I'm going to talk to the anchors, and I'll simply set the opacity to 0.7 or 70%. And that should match in Photoshop. If you look at these social icons right here, you see I have an opacity set of 70%. That should give me exactly the same look as 0.07 here on opacity. There we go. So for our phone, that's what we're going to get, something like that. Tablet, we get something like that. So our social icons are good for the 2 mobile. We'll do some more work when we get to the desktop.